Hey everyone, so I am going to be Kaiganing Pride in this video. And the reason I'm going to be Kaiganing Pride is because I think he's pretty good now. He has a specific niche that he can do. Namely, just stack up an insane amount of magic defense. And also I wanted to show you guys how Kaiganing Collab units works. So let's get started. So like before, we are going to need to bring Pride up to level 85, but before we do that, we need to limit break him. So this is an insane amount of shards. One thing to note about the Japanese version is we get way more shards either for free or through events than Global does. I'm hoping Global gets their I hope they get themselves together and start giving out more elemental shards in Global, because Global also has the Magna Historia units. And that means you are going to have about the same amount of limited units as well as extra ones for the global exclusives. So hopefully that gets sorted out eventually. So here we go, 184 dark shards. You know, even though I want to do this, it still hurts just deep down inside a little bit. It's a lot of dark shards. And I already sharded him up partway to 75. Now, let's take him to 85 now. And he is ready to be Kaiganed. So this process is going to look identical to yesterday, so I'm not going to go into as much detail as I did for Rada. But I am going to point out a couple things. First off, you see how I don't have any Pride frags? Well, what ends up happening is we can substitute with these rainbow frags, and these are Kaigan Collab rainbow frags. They can be used for any element. The only stipulation is the unit has to be a Collab unit, and it has to be for Kaigan only. You cannot raise your limit breaks with these. These are Kaigan Collab units only. Now, they do give these out more often than other frags, and that's because you need a ton of these in order to Kaigan everyone of your Collab units. So you really need to pick and choose which Collab units you want before you start Kaiganing them, because it's going to make a large impact on who you want to max out, because it's such a limited resource. Fortunately, they do offer 270 Kaigan Collab frag banners in Japan. Normally, these are attached to a 1500 pay banner or to a 5-step. And if you do the banner or the 5-step, it'll give you 270 of them, which is enough for a 555 Kaigan of any Collab unit of your choosing. So you don't have to necessarily pull it on the, like, let's say I pulled on an FMA banner to get those, I could then go and Kaigan a POTK unit. So that's the deal with them. They also give a couple out for quests, but you're not going to get, like, full Kaigans off of the quest ones and the milestone ones and whatnot. So you'll also notice that we have a rainbow flag here. And these are basically Collab flags. And they work the same as the rainbow shards. It's just, it's the flag item instead of an area item. Other than these two things, everything else is the same. There are no other changes. That just a slightly different material, and that's how you Kaigan them. One thing to note is we also have a separate sin, or indulgence. They're bluish instead of black. And these are very easy to get, so these are never a limiting factor. It's always going to be the collaboration fragments, the rainbow collab frags, that are going to hold you back for this. It's because of things like this that Masamune, after she got her job plus, is such a valuable unit, because she's super easy to Kaigan. Her shards are farmable, and you can just use these because these are basically throwaways at this point. There aren't enough Collab units that I can Kaigan to justify having over 60 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and max gate 1. And like every other gate 1, that's just a load of stats. And you can see the stats up here on the top right. It's 435 HP, 5 attack, 5 magic, and 2 speed. Not that he uses any of those stats, really. Now, Gate 2 is really important for Pride, and that's because Gate 2 is going to give him defense and magic defense, and his damage scales on magic defense, as I'm sure most of you know by now. So I am going to max this next. Each time I get one of those magic defense boosts, it's like getting a physical attack boost. It's super nice, and it's one of the reasons why Pride is such a good unit now compared to what he once was. Although, admittedly, I am using a ton of resources on him. Alright, so here is the last one. 50 of those collab frags. This is going to hurt. And what this is going to do is it's going to give him an additional move, moving him up to 4 move into jump. And it'll also give him 10% magic defense, if I remember correctly, on his machinist speed passive. You know, no matter how many times I do this, this always hurts. Alright, so he's now 550, and this is actually where I'm going to stop. Raising this last gate here is not going to do me much, because I don't plan on using his leader skill, because his leader skill is very unit specific. It's 50% magic defense, and he gains an additional 20% defense, and that's like total defense. Now, I'm not sure if it's like damage reduction or if it's added onto the defense stats. I'd have to go and check with someone for that. But in general, I would not be leading with this, mainly because a ton of the dark units have overdrive anyways. You can't really scale your magic defense up if you don't have any to begin with. I could raise this to 3, but I value my collab frags more than that. Then I'm not going to spend 30 of them for 1 speed, unfortunately. So there you have it, a 550 Pride. Now, if you didn't really care about what Pride can do, that's all I have to say on him for now. If you actually want to see what Pride can do, I'm about to take him for a spin, if you want to stick around. So excuse me for a minute here while I find what items I want. I figure he'll use his own piece of gear, and I have the Pierce Charge Up armor on me. You could also go for Regen armor. They're both good choices. You could go Wonder Chronos. I bet that would be cool. Yeah, it's kind of hard. I could do Teddy for a little less squish. I didn't actually look this up as much as I probably should have before I started the video, and because it's a Kaigan video, I can only do it in one take. So I suppose it is what it is. He's missing a speed piece of gear. So I guess I'll go Wonder Chronos for now. Actually, it's not a bad idea to go Wonder Chronos, because I don't think Dark has a ton of Wonder Chronos options. Although the HP is kind of redundant. You are going to want his Nenso, and this is a freebie Nenso. You can get this from the collab, and it's going to give him 52 magic defense, 52 dex, 52 attack, and if you have it max limit break, it'll also give you 10% human mod. It also gives him extra jewels gained, and that's the other thing you can aim for on Pride, is getting a good jewels gain items, because you can get his jewel gain up to like 60 or 70 on a single hit. And there's a reason why you need this passive upgraded. It's because he has a... Oops, I forgot to level him to 91. It's because Pride, when he uses his magic defense up skill, it drops his move by 1. And I've played with him a bit like that, and it's very hard to use a 2-move unit. If anyone remembers the old Kagura before she got anything extra, and she had that 2-move, it was particularly awful. So, as you can see here, he's now sporting over 1,000 magic defense, which is like equivalent to over 1,000 physical attack, 152 speed, some pretty good HP. His defense is only 283, which isn't stellar or anything, but he's got the 4-move now. I really wish Pride had a longer ranged attack, kind of like Gilgamesh does, but he unfortunately does not. If he did, he probably would be an SS unit. Maybe not, but it would definitely make using him a lot smoother than it is right now. So I am going to just run a quick test of him without a leader skill, and then I'm going to hop in with his leader skill for the fun of it. Go over here, put him in, turn off auto, and let's go check him out. His kit really hasn't changed. I think I forget if he just got stat upgrades or if he actually got any modifier changes. I didn't really pay much attention to that. All I know is that he does a lot more damage now. I definitely suggest getting some jewels first on Pride before you go using his increased magic defense ability. Another thing he's got is this nice AoE stop. And since it's not a damaging skill, it has like 100% hit rate if they're susceptible to it. Super nice. So for 3 turns, you can up his magic defense by 60%. So let's take a look at what a 60% magic defense increase looks like. So he's now sporting 1800 magic defense. 1800. That's a lot. And it's going to do a lot of damage. So let's take a look at his first skill here. 5.8k, not bad. And his second skill, 6.6k. And you remember this is a piercing attack, and it's actually going to pull enemies towards you. So he can do an attack in a line for this kind of damage, and pull the enemies toward him. So we can now move to his sub. He's got this attack, 6.1k, not bad. And this attack is actually typeless, which is super nice. That means he can just cheese certain maps with against certain enemies. And I guess this is his special attack, but it doesn't look like I can see what the damage looks like. He does have the Wonder Chronos option, so he can speed himself up. And what I'm going to actually do is I am going to further buff his damage by doing a Pierce buff from the Pierce charge-up armor. Alright, here we go. So, now we're looking at 9k on light units. 7.5 on fire, or any other element for that matter. And that's on his one skill. On his second skill, we're now looking at 10k. And this won't get upgraded because it doesn't have a typing. His personal ability won't get upgraded either because it doesn't have a typing. But let's go ahead and use this ability anyways and see what kind of damage it can do. It also looks like it heals him. I did not look up his kit enough. So he did about 7.5k there to that light unit. And that's an AoE around him. So let's go and grab a more realistic leader skill and see what he can do like that. So I'd probably run him with Goal, because I don't have a 50-20 leader skill in Dark right now, unfortunately. I am working on my Jin again to get him up so I can get a 40-20. But this will have to do. He only is going to get access to the... I can't remember. I think it's 20% Dark. I can't remember if he's a 30 or 20. Does it show me? It's 20% Dark. So this is what kind of damage he would be doing if I was running a 40-20 or 50-20. Which is the kind of leader skill I'd probably be running him in most often, so he can get the most amount of tank for that beautiful, beautiful magic defense stat that he's got going on there. So let's just take a look beforehand. Some of the damage that he does. What the? I don't remember this attack having that kind of range before. Oh well. So that's what his damage looks like before. Let's go ahead and buff up here. Alright. So 6.5. 7.5. About 7 there. Let's go ahead and charge up. Yeah, and Pride's main thing is he's going to be doing a lot of high consistent damage, and he's not going to necessarily have the largest charge attacks. He's no Bashini. He's not Gol. He's just going to be doing good consistent damage. So that leader skill upped our damage by about 1.5k on light units, which is still pretty good. So now for some real fun, let's just go see what Pride can do with his own leader skill all by himself. You know, just to really see what he might be capable of doing. So let's take a quick look at his magic defense. Almost 1700. He's doing about 6k out of the gate before any buffs. And he's doing 8.7 now, and with the charge up, wonder how much damage he'll actually do like this. Because it's been a while since I actually looked at the numbers. So now he's hitting about 14k on light units. And right now he's rocking about almost 2400 magic defense. That's a lot of magic defense. Like, the thing is once you hit like 1000 defense or magic defense, that's when you actually start visibly seeing reduction in damage that you take. And 2400 is such an absurd number. Like, if I was on a pure magic attack map, I could probably just stick Pride in there solo. And I'm not even sure if he would die. Like, you could throw regen armor on him, and who knows if he'd actually take enough damage to die. But, yeah, so that is Pride. He's definitely a lot better than he was. He's not like, he's still not like a Bashini. He's not necessarily like a Jin. He's kind of got his own little niche, his own little thing that he's doing, and I kind of raised him as a novelty. He's got a pretty unique niche. He's got a couple different ways you can run him. If I really wanted to, I could pull this piece of gear out, and this will give him like an extra 60 magic defense over his, or 65 magic defense over his own unique piece of gear. And you don't have to run Wonder Chronos. You could opt for something faster. The unfortunate thing is that the 100 magic defense piece of gear is actually considered armor, so you can't wear it with like regen armor, unfortunately. So you can't stack it like that. It'd be kind of cool if you could, but yeah. So that's pretty much all I have on Pride. So this wasn't a really organized video, and it was more like something I just made as an extra. And I'm not gonna I'm gonna post it outside of my normal thing. I'll probably just post it right away once it's done, rather than wait for a day, because I normally try to only release one video a day, just so that's not like a ton of information and like an hour's worth of videos to watch each day. It's much easier to digest like that. Whether I suggest anyone else Kaigan's Pride or even raises him, that's kind of up to you. He's pretty niche of a new unit. The reason I got him is because my Dark is suffering right now. It's a little bit behind. There's a couple units in here that I just should have farmed earlier, and there's also a lot of limited units in here too, except they're a lot harder to Kaigan than a Collab unit like Pride is, and that's one of the main reasons I decided to raise him. So thanks for watching, everybody. I Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Sorry if this one was a little bit more boring than normal, because I went through a lot of damage tests with him to really show what he was capable of, because I'm sure not many people have actually seen a Kaigan Pride in action. So, I hope to see you next time.